To Ahmad Abuznaid, who's the executive director of the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights. He's joining us live from Washington. All eyes have been on Washington today for reaction and the Biden administration. The killing of our colleague is happening, of course, against the backdrop of systematic violence on Palestinians. There's a larger practice, as you know, taking place here. I want to ask you first what you would like to see and hear from the Biden administration besides the usual condemnation and the calls for investigations.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and may she rest in peace. Clearly, you're seeing angst and anger all across the globe, and what we're all looking for is justice. It's very simple. These thorough investigations have to be independent because we cannot depend on the Israelis to investigate themselves. This is an investigation that has led to zero results over 70 years. When you talk about the countless Palestinians that have lost their lives, over 50 Palestinians just this calendar year. And as far as the Biden administration, I would think that the Biden administration can do more than words when a U.S. citizen is gunned down abroad while being protected by a press vest, clearly delineating that they should be protected, that they are there to cover and offer truth to the entire world about what is happening on the ground in Palestine. And so the Biden administration has their work cut out for them.
In terms of an investigation, we've heard lots of statements and reactions that are calling for an independent investigation. Who should be responsible, you think, for leading this investigation?
The Palestinian people have for some time now looked to the International Criminal Court. We have not been able to begin the process of holding a case at the International Criminal Court. But the thought is that as Palestinians, we're currently a stateless people. The U.S. government is clearly unwilling to protect Palestinians and Palestinian Americans. And so if the Palestinian Authority cannot protect us and the U.S. government, the greatest financier, the greatest supporter of Israel, is not willing to protect us, we may need to look at bodies such as the International Criminal Court.
But the ICC doesn't have the jurisdiction to deal with individual cases like these.
That's right. And therein lies, again, the problem here, that apparently Palestine and Palestinians exist within a black hole internationally. Violations of international law that occur in other nations can be held to account. However, if these atrocities occur within the Palestinian territories, we're simply told ICC doesn't have jurisdiction, Palestinian Authority is unequipped, and the Israelis, as always, find no fault of their own.
And so what happens now? What happens next, in your view?
What happens is the Palestinian people continue to fight for justice and continue to resist until liberation. And those of us all across the world in solidarity will do what we can. Specifically, those of us in the United States have to demand on our elected officials that we cannot continue to support the Israeli state as it's currently situated. We cannot continue to support Israel with weapons and bullets that are going to be gunning down innocent people and members of the press.
You say Palestinians should continue to fight by any means necessary?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You see, people don't understand the incredible violence that we face on the day-to-day basis with the occupation, the checkpoints, the blockades on Gaza, the shooting and targeting of journalists. Just a year ago, we saw an entire building in Gaza housing media from across the globe be bombed. And so what do we say when our government is more worried about the Iron Dome protecting Israeli citizens? What about the protection of Palestinians? Even journalists are not safe. And so who is to protect these people?
Thank you for talking to us and sharing your views. Ahmad Abuznaid, Executive Director of the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Let's now bring in